Hello, everybody, and welcome to the show that shall not be named, where I do a pen and ink drawing and try to describe my thought process or what I'm doing, but my thoughts are a mystery even to myself, so hopefully it's useful for someone or at the very least entertaining. Today's prompt is shallow, so I decided to do a creature that lives in the shallow waters. This is the third of a series of three drawings that are monsters. The first one was the monster made of arms. If you haven't seen that one, it's very cool. And the second one was the space whale, which was very popular, which isn't necessarily a monster, but we can bend the rules a little bit. There's suggestions. But yeah, I'm doing the sketch here, and I decided to make the head a little bit bigger because I'm going to put a bunch of eyeballs on here. And the head was it was too small to get very many eyeballs on there. So make it a little bit bigger. No problem. And yeah, I'm just sketching out a bunch of little eyeballs, trying to make them facing all different directions. Get them to kind of interlock in a way where I can shade them, shade one part of one off of the end of another sort of thing. Just can be kind of tricky. But if you're careful, you can achieve it. And then, yeah, just some little streaks to represent the light coming in the water there. And here I am coming through with the TWSBI Eco Fine nib. This has platinum carbon in it. And I'm just taking care of these outlines. Making sure I get those nice little wobbles in all the tentacles. So this is based on a Portuguese man-o-war, which I guess is not actually a jellyfish. I'm calling it a jellyfish because my version is a made-up abomination, but the real ones apparently are siphonophores. And I have no idea what that means, but I like the word siphonophore, so I wanted to say it. This is actually the third drawing I've done of this prompt. I had a lot of stuff to do today, so I wanted to get the drawing done yesterday. And I tried to record a couple drawings in the evening before I went to bed, but apparently I am just a morning drawer. I've heard comic book artists talk about this too. You got to find your time of day that is good for you. Some people are great middle of the night, they're most creative. Apparently I'm like a 6 a.m. kind of guy. Or whatever time I wake up, I think it's because when I wake up, I'm still kind of like, I don't know, in a dreamy sort of mindset, I guess. And I've got a lot of, I'm well rested and all that kind of stuff. So I've got more energy and less back pain. Might have something to do with it. But yeah, now I'm switching over to the brush pen. I tried to be a little more conservative with the solid black on this one. I've been enjoying it a lot lately, so I think I've been overdoing it slightly, just very slightly in some of the drawings. And I wanted to, use it a little bit more moderately. So I made a conscious effort, and I think we got a good amount of black. And then this is the TWSBI Eco Medium with Waterman Intense Black in it. I think I might fill up the brush pen with the same ink as this so they match a little. Well, it's not that they don't match, but so they match like perfectly, right? That might be a good idea. It might not make a difference at all. Who knows? I don't know. We'll find out. That ink brush wasn't as empty as I thought it. I thought it was almost empty, and then I gave it a good shake this morning when I was doing this drawing, and it seems like there's a decent amount of ink in there still. Here I'm coming through with the fine nib again and doing some of the coarse hatching, the darker hatching in the shadows. I'm finding that the line weight of the hatching will make a difference, depending on how dark of an area you want it to be. If you use like a thicker line weight, it seems to make the ink more bold and like more opaque, the heavier the line weight is. And then you can get your shadows a little bit darker. If that makes sense. It might seem like painfully obvious to you guys. For some reason it wasn't for me. Yeah, I'm coming through doing some hatching. I wanted these to have a little bit of texture, but I still wanted them to be nice and dark, so I'm just doing some really close hatching through the tentacles. I don't know if they're called tentacles or not. They look like tentacles. But yeah, I really like the little curly wavy lines that you can get when you're drawing those tentacles. I think they look really cool. I am coming through with the extra fine now. I threw a couple little contour lines on there, and I think maybe I should have just continued with the fine, but I think I also just kind of wanted to see what it would look like if I used the extra fine and did a lighter line. Oh, also, on the irises, I just decided to do a thinner outline around to give them more contrast, because these eyes are so small. And also, I wanted them to kind of look weird, like not like they were humanized necessarily. So I figured if I just drew that ring for an iris in a lighter line than the pupil, it would look kind of almost like, those creepy contact lenses that the goth kids wear. And then here I'm coming through with a bunch of contour hatching and just doing little shadows in the eyeballs. That's one thing I think not a lot of people, but some people skip, is they actually don't put any shading inside, like on the white of the eye. And there should be just a little bit of shading there to kind of make it look like a sphere. Or you see the opposite where they go crazy with the blood vessels and stuff. It just looks like everybody's, has bloodshot eyes. And yeah, I was doing those contour line like strips upward there and trying to leave negative space in between them to get those like ridges. And I think it worked okay. I wasn't completely happy with the amount of contrast I got there, so now I'm coming through with a little bit thicker line weight and just kind of working in a little bit of darkness where I think it needs to be. And I'm going nice and slow with this part because I didn't want to overdo it and ruin it. But you'll see I end up cross-hatching over it here in a second. And it looks pretty nice. And then here I'm doing some hatching in the sky area. I went real simple. I didn't have a lot of room to work after making the head bigger, so I couldn't add. I mean, I guess I could have added a little cloud or something, but I figured it was fine. It's fine. Plus, I'm tired. So tired. No, I'm just playing around. I'm really stoked that I ended up doing the Inktober prompts. It's been good to get me motivated, for sure. Here I'm doing a little bit of contour lining and some hatching on the water surface. And then... yeah, what I was trying to do here was get that kind of like light ripply effect that you see underwater sometimes, like on the bottom of the pool or whatever. And I think it's okay. I think if I had it to do over again, I would have made it kind of dark towards the horizon and then had the ripply effect come down almost like it was the sand underneath him, if that makes sense. But there's always next time. This doesn't look bad. The reason I didn't do that, though, is because I liked the high contrast look of the tentacles hanging down like that. So I ended up just leaving it blank and then putting this kind of border around it just to frame it in. Almost make it like a creepy aquarium or something. And then here I'm coming through with the kneaded eraser, just cleaning up any leftover pencil marks that are messing with the value. You don't want, pencil lines through the whites of the eyes and stuff like that. All right. Well, thanks for watching, everybody. That should about wrap it up. Go ahead and like, comment, subscribe if you feel so inclined. And thank you to my patrons on Patreon, of course. I will see you in the next one. All right. Bye.